Welcome back to 2DG. We finally got the second douche. Number two. He's number two. Alright, so today we're going to review. What are we reviewing?
We're reviewing Surly Furious.
Alright, we've never had this before. This was our Western Midwest tour. We picked up some stuff, and this is the first one we're going to try. So let's get to it. Alright, and we don't usually drink out of canned beers. I don't anyway, so no. This is going to be unique as well.
Unless you have to.
Well, and I got no problem with it if it's a good beer, and that's what we're here to find out. That looks weird coming out of a can. All my past experiences coming out of a can was pale yellow. Alright, and while he's pouring, I want to come up with a bit of a rating system. Start kind of maybe grade the type, and then the overall impression. What say you? Okay, so we've got Surly Furious Standard IPA. It's got a nice dark golden, amber. Yeah, amber. It's like a dark honey looking, you know.
I say where we're at, they don't distribute far enough for Northeast Indiana, so not all of these that we're reviewing, at least off the bat, are going to be anything necessarily considered special, even though this is 100 on Ratebeer, but special for us. So
we'll give our own ratings, and then as we progress and get different beers, these ratings might have to shift. We might have to revisit and re-rate some of them, but we'll give our impression based on what we know so far. So head's kind of a cream color. I mean, it's a little darker than a cream. It's kind of a...
When it poured, it did have about a finger and a half, but we've let it sit here, obviously.
Smell it. It's
definitely citrusy and piney right off the bat. It's real clean smelling though, so it's not anything super dank. It is resinous.
By the way, dank's a word I probably won't use very often because it evokes a nasty, not pleasing sound.
That's why you describe what it is.
Well, that's why you should describe dank, not say dank. Anyway, here's that douche part. So anyway, it's pretty light smelling.
As I say, it's...
I don't get a ton of malt smell.
No. I mean, from the smell, it's very balanced. Kind of, I don't know if I'm underwhelmed by the smell, but...
Nothing's jumping out.
Yeah.
So, let's give it a shot. And Surly, they're Minnesota, so...
Yes.
Let's give this a shot.
Obviously a lot of bitterness right off the front.
And it falls.
It's real balanced, which I thought it would be based upon smelling it. They do use Scottish malts in this. You can really tell a lot more roasted than I thought it was going to be. You do get a lot of toffee in there. Hops really carry though from the front to the back of the tongue, which is nice.
All the way.
Nice, clean. Really dry on the back end, which is
I would agree.
What you want for this style.
A little bit of alcohol going, I mean, it's there. The maltiness on it's pretty minimal, I would say. I mean, it's there.
Yeah, you can tell that it's there, and it really complements it just fine. The hops aren't massive in your face.
I think the hoppiness is pretty prevalent. I mean, it's really there, especially compared to the malt. I get a lot more of the hop bitterness all the way through in taste, but the malt's real faint. But it's a good balance. I mean, it's there. It's not like one of those where it's all hop and that's all you've got. It's just hop, 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 hop. This one's got a nice middle ground with a little bit higher spike on the hop, I guess. You know, it's a pretty good beer actually.
And say the hop flavor that's most prevalent in it, though, at least what I get, is just citrus. I don't really get much of the pine or anything throughout. You get it on the nose and a little bit at the front, but once it washes over the front and then towards the back of your tongue, all I get is just lemony citrus on it.
Overall, if you were rating this based on what you've had so far in your experience, for the style, where would you put it?
Well, it's interesting because, again, not everybody shares all their ingredients that they have, but with them using Scottish malt is actually kind of cool. I like the balance that it has a lot. I'd probably give it a 7. Like, it's not, I'd say my expectations maybe were a little higher for it. Thanks, Ratebeer. Edit that anyway. But it's a solid beer. I can't say anything negative about it. Like I said, my expectations for it were a little higher, and that's nothing to take away from the beer, but yeah, I guess you could say it was my fault that it's a 7. I'll go 8, but I'm gonna stick with a 7.
I'm gonna go 7 also, because I think had it had a little more hop. The more I drink it, the more I am just overwhelmed with the hop, which I like hops. That's fine, but I think if it had more malt flavor, it would really even that out and give it a more well-rounded. It's almost thin on this, you know. When
it's definitely a middle of the tongue beer. It doesn't coat your mouth the way that I thought it was going to.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
I actually want more hop to it, not more malt. I think the malt's fine. I think it needs more hops to really accentuate the style. Take away some of the maltiness, but not by taking it away from the grain bill, but by adding more hops to it. Yeah. Me personally, but
I'm going with what I said. So that was for the style. Now overall, as a flavor and everything like that, where'd you put that?
For me, I think a lot of it's going to be kind of directly related. Overall, I'm going to stick with where I'm at. It's a 7. I've had a lot of beers that are way better than this, but I've also had a lot that aren't nearly as good. So I'm gonna go with a 7.
And I'm gonna stick with the same as well. I would agree. I've had beers that, for the style, are a lot better. I'm not saying this is bad. Nope. This is definitely a good beer. And I've had some that were much, much, much worse than this. So, Surly Furious, I'd say solid 7 across the board right now. Now, would it be a go out and get it now, a recommend?
I definitely would.
Or not recommend?
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. And again, because you can't get it, at least where we're at, I don't know how big of a market or their distribution really is. But yeah, I would definitely go out of my way to get this beer.
I'm going to leave it at a recommend. I'm saying if you have the opportunity, get it, try it out, see what you think. I'm not going to say do what we did and plan a trip for it.
Wasn't just for this.
No, it wasn't just for this. But I'm not saying, you know, pay an outrageous amount off some broker or whatever you want to call it to get it. If you get your hands on it, get it and enjoy it. It's a good beer. That's about all I got on Surly Furious.
2DG.
Oh.